Throughout human history, technological innovation has been the driving force behind national progress and development. From the 6th century to the early 17th century, China contributed to over 54% of the world's major scientific and technological achievements. By the 19th century, however, this figure had dropped sharply to just 0.4%. British scholar Joseph Needham, in his Science and Civilization in China, raised a crucial question. Why, despite China's significant contributions to human technological progress in ancient times, did modern science and the Industrial Revolution not emerge in China? This question, while presented as one of science, is fundamentally a question of development. A nation grows powerful with strong science and technology. Over the past 75 years, New China has found practical answers to the Needham question through its development. The transformation of China over these 75 years has turned this land into fertile ground for technological innovation and growth. Today, Chinese modernization is propelling the great rejuvenation of the Chinese nation, elevating science, talent, and innovation to new strategic heights. This immense momentum is writing a new chapter of miracles for the future. John Roger Speakman, a foreign academician of the Chinese Academy of Sciences, is a British physiologist who came to China in 2011. He established China's first doubly labeled water laboratory and used stable isotopes to solve human metabolism challenges. This made China one of the few countries, alongside the UK, US, and Japan, with such technology.
It's the best place in the world to do science at the moment. It's not a sort of closed opinion, it's a very open-looking attitude. So I think over the last 10 years, there have been enormous developments, and China is now a science superpower.
Today, like John Roger Speakman, more and more top scientists and innovators are coming to China. The Chinese Academy of Engineering and the Chinese Academy of Sciences now boasts 278 foreign academicians. China's full-time R&D personnel grew from 3.247 million person-years in 2012 to 6.354 million in 2022, the highest in the world. However, 75 years ago, the newly founded republic had almost no scientific base. In 1949, 80% of China's 540 million people were illiterate. There were only about 30 specialized institutions and fewer than 500 natural science researchers.
On August 31, 1950, 128 Chinese students in the U.S. boarded the President Wilson in San Francisco, responding to their homeland's call to aid in rebuilding.
In 1949, the founding of the People's Republic of China brought hope for national rejuvenation and prosperity to Chinese students abroad. Ship after ship carried home those with knowledge and patriotic hearts, bound for a nation rising from devastation. By early 1957, over 3,000 overseas scholars had returned, more than half of all Chinese students and scholars abroad before 1949.
No explanation was needed for coming home. These returning scholars, alongside scientists who stayed in China, became the foundational pillars of new China's scientific development.
With talent assembling, the foundation took shape. From the 1949 founding of the Chinese Academy of Sciences, research institutions across the nation were gradually restored and built. By 1956, China had 239 local research institutions and over 4,000 researchers. That spring, the Communist Party of China issued a nationwide call, March Toward Science. The 1956 to 1967 outline for the long-term development of science and technology, known as the 12-year plan, soon followed. It prioritized the development of cutting-edge technologies, such as atomic bombs and missiles.
Drafting such a long-term plan was unprecedented globally. The guiding principle of the 12-year plan was focused development, rapid progress, designed to meet critical national needs while advancing scientific disciplines.
In 1955, after 5 years under house arrest in the United States, Qian Xuesen overcame countless obstacles to return to China. Few could have imagined the extraordinary feats his return would spark.
General Chen Gung once asked, "Can the Chinese develop missiles?" I replied, "If foreigners can do it, why can't we?"
If foreigners can do it, so can we. Tens of thousands of workers gathered at Jinyintan grassland in Haiyan County, Qinghai Province. A remote, secretive base that became China's first nuclear weapons research facility.
For secrecy, the area vanished from maps. There was a movie filmed here called Jinyintan, but it was banned. The site became a restricted zone.
80-year-old Wei Shijia left Jinyintan over 20 years ago. That remote and barren Gobi Desert, hidden from the world for years, holds the unspoken passion of his youthful dedication.
University graduates went where needed most, the toughest places. We arrived in June or July, and it snowed. We couldn't tell anyone. Our work permits stated a state-owned comprehensive machinery factory, with no address or mention of Qinghai. No one knew what we were doing.
Serve in humility, but build a legacy for eternity. In those isolated days, Wei's routine task was testing explosive components. Working with explosives daily, he knew the true cost of sacrifice.
An explosion occurred, very close to us. When inspecting the site the next day, we found no recognizable remains. Not a single intact piece. But our nation had tasked us with building its nuclear shield. Even if we sacrificed our lives here, it was an honor.
This group, none of whom had ever worked on a nuclear bomb, quietly toiled in this barren Gobi Desert. Their efforts lifted a resource-poor, newborn China to repeated moments of global triumph. On October 16, 1964, China's first atomic bomb was successfully detonated.
3, 2, 1, launch.
On June 17, 1967, China's first hydrogen bomb test succeeded.
Ignition.
On April 24, 1970, China's first artificial satellite, Dongfeng Hong-1, was successfully launched.
Given the circumstances at the time, successfully launching that satellite was an incredible achievement for the Chinese people. Every screw was made in China. It was a moment of unparalleled pride.
From humble beginnings, a poor and underdeveloped young republic, under the leadership of the Communist Party of China, swiftly mobilized all available resources. This effort led to major breakthroughs, advancing China toward global standards. In 1977, China's Gaokao examination was reinstated after a decade-long suspension. Like spring thunder through the frost, millions returned to their lost exams. Hao Yue, an academician of CAS, still vividly remembers his excitement.
When I heard the announcement of restoring the Gaokao,
I was thrilled. It felt like my opportunity had finally arrived.
In 40 intense days of preparation during his off-work hours, Hao Yue, a geological surveyor in Xishuangbanna, was admitted to Xidian University. In 1978, as 20-year-old Hao Yue eagerly pursued his studies. March saw the National Science Conference held in Beijing. The ideas of science and technology as productive forces and intellectuals as part of the proletariat were introduced.
This marked the arrival of the most glorious spring of science in China's history.
In March 1986, Wang Daheng, Wang Ganchang, Yang Jiachi, and Chen Fangyun, for 2 bombs, 1 satellite pioneers, jointly submitted recommendations on tracking the development of strategic high technologies abroad. This became the renowned 863 program. The government allocated 10 billion yuan to the program, equivalent to 5% of the national fiscal expenditure that year. This bold decision and investment elevated New China's technological advancement to a higher starting point. In the spring of 2024, China's space program was very busy.
Chang'e 6, this is Beijing.
On May 3rd, the Chang'e 6 lunar probe launched successfully, tasked with returning soil samples from the moon's far side. Earlier, the Shenzhou 18 crewed spacecraft had also launched smoothly.
Shenzhou 18, open the hatch.
Shenzhou 18 acknowledged.
At 6:58 p.m. on May 28th, the 3 astronauts aboard Shenzhou 18 successfully completed their first spacewalk. This was the 15th extravehicular activity during China's space station operations.
I've exited the module. Feeling great.
For over 3 decades, China has gone from uncrewed to crewed missions, from single to multi-person crews, and from spacecraft to spacewalks, which further solidify China's role in space exploration. The journey began with the 863 program, which included manned spaceflight research into China's key development plans. In 1992, China launched the China Manned Space Program. Qi Faran was appointed Shenzhou's chief designer. Having contributed to the Dongfanghong 1 satellite, Qi, already in his 60s, accepted the responsibility without hesitation.
I dedicated my whole life to aerospace. If we want to be strong, we can only rely on ourselves. As the chief designer, I had to make sure that when astronauts launched, I could tell them, "You'll return safely." Taking on that responsibility was intense pressure.
Exploring the unknown demands great courage and sometimes sacrifice.
Scientific exploration inherently involves risk. High-risk missions require someone to step up. Taking responsibility means facing it with courage.
After overcoming extreme challenges, on October 15, 2003, China's first crewed spacecraft faced its ultimate test.
I'm honored to execute China's first manned spaceflight. Preparations complete. Standing by for launch.
Countdown. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, ignition.
With the successful launch of Shenzhou 5, China became the 3rd country in the world to independently master crewed spaceflight technology, starting more than 30 years behind advanced nations. Generations of Chinese aerospace pioneers closed the gap and reached milestones. By the end of 2022, China's completed space station stood as a beacon of progress, a cornerstone project in building a technologically advanced and spacefaring nation.
The Chinese space station always inspires anticipation.
In 2016, the 863 program was integrated into the new National Key Research and Development Program, ending its historic mission. Over 3 decades, it drove breakthroughs in aerospace, IT, biology, automation and renewable energy, transforming China's technological development from isolated projects to comprehensive innovation, from following to leading.
The deep ocean is a realm of endless darkness and silence, and humanity's exploration of it has just begun.
The deep sea is one of Earth's most enigmatic realms. In June 2002, China's Ministry of Science and Technology launched a Key 863 program initiative, developing a 7,000-meter manned submersible. At the time, the world's best submersibles could only reach depths of 6,000 meters. Hu Zhen, deputy chief designer of the Jiaolong submersible, led his team from scratch to a breakthrough in 10 years, taking China's manned deep diving from 0 to 7,000 meters. Under the 863 program in the 12th five-year plan, the Deep Sea Warrior submersible sets a new benchmark in China's scientific exploration. While limited to 4,500 meters, its significance lay in achieving technological independence.
Many of the Jiaolong systems relied on foreign technology. To build a deep-sea equipment framework for China, we had to develop our own technology step by step.
After 8 years of relentless effort, in October 2017, the Deep Sea Warrior completed its sea trials, with 91.3% of its key components domestically produced. China's deep-sea explorers have never stopped their pursuit of the unknown. On November 10, 2020, China's first manned submersible for ultra-deep dives, Fendoja, reached the Mariana Trench bottom at a depth of 10,909 meters, setting a new national record for deep-sea exploration.
10,000 meters.
Dear audience, the seafloor is truly beyond words.
What an awe-inspiring and emotional moment. After 20 years of effort, we've used our own technology to achieve manned dives to the deepest part of the world. This is a monumental accomplishment, a journey of pride and lasting memories.
In the same year, on the shores of Taihu Lake in Wuxi, where Fendoja was born, the Taihu Laboratory of Deep-Sea Technological Science was established. Today, researchers are constructing a mobile maritime laboratory.
It wasn't easy, but it's finally afloat.
This 110-meter-long vessel, the world's first green and smart deep-sea research ship, is equipped with complete, advanced systems for offshore experiments and operations, and versatile laboratories supporting multiple disciplines. It enables deep-sea biological, hydrological, geological research and various marine experiments, fulfilling strategic demands for China's deep-sea technology.
Deep seas, polar regions, cyberspace, and outer space are the 4 new frontiers of national security. As President Xi Jinping emphasized, the Taihu Laboratory is committed to building a robust system for developing deep-sea equipment, propelling China toward greater strength and independence.
Where do the boundaries of human understanding lie? China is exploring in deep space, deep earth, and deep seas. From outer space to ocean depths of 10,000 meters, from frozen poles to the open seas, China's exploration of new frontiers demonstrates ingenuity and courage, lighting up humanity's path of technological advancement. At this critical juncture in history, President Xi Jinping has stressed, key technologies and equipment must be in our own hands. We must harness self-reliance to advance independent innovation. From the 18th National Congress, advocating for innovation-driven development, to the 19th National Congress, declaring innovation as the core driver of progress, to the 20th National Congress, China sets the goal of becoming a global innovation leader with strong self-reliance in science and technology as a key development objective for China by 2035. Without independent technology, a nation's development is vulnerable to external control. Technological modernization is key to Chinese modernization. President Xi has emphasized that our scientists and engineers must embody the vision, the courage to innovate, and the resolve to endure. They must prioritize global scientific frontiers, key economic battlegrounds, China's strategic needs, and the well-being of the people. By seizing opportunities, confronting challenges, and addressing key issues, they are entrusted with the historic mission of achieving high-level self-reliance in technology for China. Deep in the mountains of Jiangmen, a 1,267-meter inclined tunnel leads 700 meters underground, where the world's largest neutrino detector is taking shape. Made from 263 acrylic panels, the detector will be fully assembled by the end of 2024. At its core will be a 35.4-meter diameter acrylic sphere, designed to capture elusive neutrinos. This sphere will hold 20,000 tons of liquid scintillator.
Our job here is to make sure that before we fill the detectors, the liquid that we use for detecting the neutrinos is at a sufficient level of purity that it can be used for neutrino detection.
Neutrinos are everywhere in the universe. Every second, 70 billion neutrinos pass through your fingertips. Yet detecting them is no simple task. The Jiangmen Underground Neutrino Observatory is a national megascience facility built to study neutrinos and uncover clues about the universe's origins.
At noon Beijing time, the 2016 Breakthrough Prize in Fundamental Physics was announced in Silicon Valley, California.
That year, Wang Yifang, on behalf of the Daya Bay Reactor Neutrino Experiment team, received the prestigious award.
The Daya Bay experiment was a significant success, laying a solid foundation of technology and talent. At Jiangmen, we're now tackling an even larger and more complex challenge.
President Xi has emphasized that current technological and industrial transformation is driving scientific research toward the vastest scales. The tiniest particles, the harshest conditions, and the most interdisciplinary frontiers, pushing the boundaries of human understanding. Since the 18th National Congress, China has intensified strategic planning and organization of basic research, achieving globally recognized breakthroughs in fields like quantum information, stem cells, brain science, and brain-inspired chips. Investment in basic research has grown steadily, rising from 49.9 billion yuan in 2012 to 221.2 billion yuan in 2023. The spending on basic research exceeds 6% of the total R&D investment for 5 consecutive years. An efficient, collaborative, and open national innovation system has become a powerful driver of basic research in China. The toughest challenges in building the neutrino detector was developing its eyes, the photomultiplier tubes. When a neutrino is captured, the liquid scintillator emits faint light signals, which will be converted into electrical ones by 45,000 PMTs, which amplify them 10 million times to determine the energy, location, and other data to be processed later by computers.
When planning the observatory, we realized that no PMTs on the market met our requirements. We needed to at least double the detection efficiency, so we had to develop them ourselves.
For decades, the PMT market was dominated by foreign companies, making domestic production a daunting challenge for Chinese researchers.
The technology demands were immense, requiring substantial investment. At one point, many even dismissed PMT as a sunset industry.
However, participating in Juno, a cutting-edge national science project, gave researchers like Sun Jianning renewed hope that this declining industry could find a new lease on life.
We had to overcome this bottleneck to support the nation's major science project. Pooling our strengths, we believed we could achieve something extraordinary.
AHEP at CAS led a collaboration of research institutions and an enterprise to build a multidisciplinary team to tackle the challenge. This partnership followed an academia-industry model driven by fair benefit sharing. Everyone joined forces to address the most complex issues.
We implemented rules to ensure adherence to intellectual property protections. With a neat management system and democratic decision-making, we ensured clear contributions, motivating every participant to give their best.
After 4 years of relentless effort, in 2020, all 15,000 PMTs were manufactured, tested, and approved, marking the localization of this critical technology.
4 20-inch PMTs, China's homegrown ones, now lead the world in detection efficiency.
Chinese manufacturing is key to its tech achievements. As basic research strengthens, China now has established 77 large-scale scientific facilities, including groundbreaking projects like the Jiangmen Underground Neutrino Observatory. Over 30 of these, such as CSNS and FAST, are already operational. For the company involved, the impact goes far beyond individual contracts.
Major national projects such as LASO, China Dark Matter Experiment in CJPL, and Tropical Deep Sea Neutrino Telescope are advancing progress in neutrino, cosmic ray, and dark matter research. These initiatives ensure that critical detector technologies are self-reliant and fully controlled by China.
In a world undergoing profound and complex changes, China's new whole-of-nation approach is mobilizing resources for innovation. To target weaknesses, build strengths, and create opportunities for leapfrog development.
The third plenary session of the 20th Central Committee stressed the importance of refining this approach to boost the effectiveness of the National Innovation Framework. By addressing key scenarios for Chinese modernization and fostering innovation alliances, China is building platforms to strengthen its capabilities. The drive for progress is unstoppable nationwide. China leads the world in rail transit, with the world's largest operational high-speed rail network. In Chengchun's western suburbs, nearly 40% of China's high-speed trains are produced here. Nearby, a massive steel train glides along a test track. The world's first hydrogen-powered urban train, developed entirely in China, now undergoing speed tests at 160 kilometers per hour.
At its core is a China-developed fuel cell system, enabling zero-carbon operation. The hydrogen-electric hybrid power system and energy management strategies were independently developed.
Over 10 enterprises and universities work together to solve the technical challenges of the battery system, with the production completed by a private company. This 25-year collaboration between the two parties has evolved from a simple supply-demand relationship into a partnership for innovation.
For private companies, innovation is a steep climb. It requires immense resources, manpower, and real-world application scenarios. This collaborative model allows us to stand on the shoulders of giants, allowing private enterprises to innovate and manufacture new energy products.
President Xi underscores enterprises as the key drivers of innovation. He called for closer industry sector collaboration and stronger integration of industry, academia, and research to speed up turning scientific results into productivity. At a molybdenum mine in Hunan, a planned explosion wraps up, as unmanned excavators and trucks autonomously take over the site. This smart mine operates smoothly, safely, and efficiently, all controlled by a smart dispatch center 300 meters away.
One map, one network, one center, a fully integrated system as the mine's operational brain, to merge safety, equipment, and energy management into a single platform. That's why we partnered with Professor Gu. This system enables centralized command.
In Xi'an, 400 kilometers away, Professor Gu Qinhua leads the Intelligent Mining Science and Engineering team at Xi'an University of Architecture and Technology as its third-generation leader. Back in the 1980s, this team was already laying the groundwork for smart mining systems. Yet, their groundbreaking research remained unused in academia for years.
Our research was often 10 years ahead of the market. Without real-world application, it stayed stuck in academia.
Universities had the tech, and companies needed it. However, bridging the gap wasn't as easy as it seemed. Scientific inventions from universities were classified as state-owned assets. If commercialization efforts failed, it could be viewed as a loss of state property. To unlock the potential of technological innovation required dismantling systemic barriers. In March 2022, Shanxi Province launched pilot reforms in colleges and research institutes to address bottlenecks in applying scientific achievements.
We created a category for employment-related outcomes, easing their transfer. Second, we introduced a no-fault accountability system to empower bold management decisions. Turning breakthroughs into reality has been strongly supported since.
Since the 18th National Congress, China has established a broad platform network to transform research into products. The revised Law of the People's Republic of China on promoting the transformation of scientific and technological achievements granted organizations and researchers greater control over the use, management, and benefits of their discoveries. From 2012 to 2023, the value of technology contracts in China surged from 600 billion yuan to 6.15 trillion yuan. Innovation drives the future, and reform shapes a nation's destiny. As President Xi noted, if technological innovation is a new engine of China's development, then reform is the ignition system that makes it work.
Let's begin the pre-flight briefing. Today, we're flying the Kashgar to Tashkurgan route, a higher plateau flight path.
This mission is served by the ARJ-21, China's homegrown regional jet, marking the first regular use of a homegrown aircraft at a higher plateau Chinese airport. On Chinese passenger planes, the C919's maiden flight turned China's dream of building large planes into reality. In fact, the ARJ-21 is equally a national pride. China's first medium and short-range regional jet, the ARJ-21, was independently developed, meeting international standards with proprietary rights.
Higher plateau airports like Tashkurgan challenge most planes, but the ARJ-21 meets every requirement for this route. The ARJ-21 proves vital as regional aviation grows.
Over 4,000 kilometers away, in Minheng District, Shanghai, China's first Operations Support Center for domestic commercial aircraft monitors real-time data from the ARJ-21 fleet. This one-stop hub offers operational support from the manufacturer to customers.
We analyze the data, propose optimization strategies, and use these insights to iterate on the aircraft's performance. For us, there's no perfect plane, just planes that keep improving.
Welcome to the stunning Pamir Plateau in Xinjiang. The plateau now has Tashkurgan Kunjarab Airport, Xinjiang's first higher plateau airport, making direct flights to Tashkurgan possible.
Tashkurgan County, on the eastern edge of the Pamirs, was once a key hub on the ancient Silk Road. Mika, a 90s-born entrepreneur from Fujian, invested in a guest house in Tashkurgan a few years ago. With more flights, the Pamir Plateau is drawing more visitors to its icy peaks.
When I first came in 2020, there were no luxury hotels. Now, even 5-star hotels have opened, and rooms are fully booked daily. The growth in just 2 years has been remarkable.
In remote areas like this, large planes often operate below capacity. The ARJ-21 regional jet fills this gap perfectly. We look forward to seeing more Chinese planes in our skies.
As of today, China has delivered 10 C919 jets and over 140 ARJ-21 planes, serving 500 domestic and international routes with 10 airlines. Science and technology have never contributed more to national progress and public well-being. In another effort, Han Xiangbin's team traveled 5 hours from Kunming to Tsangyuan County to screen over 10,000 children for congenital heart disease.
Her heart seems a bit large.
Can you keep up in PE class?
12-year-old Sao was diagnosed with congenital heart disease.
Tomorrow, we'll perform her surgery. It'll take about 30 minutes to finish the operation.
Congenital heart disease is the most common birth defect, with prevalence increasing at higher altitudes. The incidence rate in Tsangyuan County far exceeds the national mean of 7 to 9 per 1,000 children. The illness casts a heavy shadow on children and families.
I envy my friends when they jump rope or play badminton and basketball. I wish I could join them.
Inaccessible terrain, limited healthcare, and long, arduous trips for treatment have already cost one child from this family.
The journey from here to Tsangyuan takes over 2 hours, another 3 to Lingsang, and 7 more to Kunming. The past is too painful to bring up. It hurts too much. We've lost one child. I can't lose another.
This time, doctors from Beijing came to them. The operating room is housed in a mobile surgical vehicle.
This surgical vehicle was connected to Fuwai Hospital system. All good, a tiny occluder sealed the hole completely. No medication was needed. She can return to school on Monday.
For a remote place like ours, this help means everything.
Heart surgeries that once required trips to big city hospitals are now delivered to rural villages through mobile medical units. Behind their compassion lies China's medical innovation, driven to protect lives and advance health. Han's team redesigned the entire guidance system and introduced 17 new technologies and 23 new products. This Chinese solution treats heart disease without surgery, radiation, general anesthesia, or intubation.
This embodies what President Xi calls original, transformative innovations that drive new productivity. This approach has clear benefits: no radiation exposure, protection for both patients and medical staff, lower reliance on complex medical equipment, and a reduction in costs by nearly 1/3. ultrasound guidance also makes the method ideal for broader adoption.
Fuwai Yunnan Hospital is a regional center of the National Center for Cardiovascular Diseases. Following the principle of identify every CHD, treat every heart, the hospital provides free treatment and regular follow-ups.
In China, 1 year is normal. For some patients, we are performing particular 8 months.
The team has trained over 1,000 doctors from 32 countries. Their ultrasound-guided interventional system, recognized by the United Nations as a global initiative, is the first Chinese medical technology to receive UN funding and diplomatic support for worldwide promotion. It's now used in 1,042 institutions across 68 countries, saving over 200,000 lives. Through innovation, Chinese doctors are building a shared global health community.
China has been spending a lot in science and technology and innovation, so cooperation in that field is not only good for China, they are also very critical to us as China and South Africa as developing countries to cooperate in these fields so that we remain globally competitive. If you are not competitive, you'll always be a follower. We don't want to be followers, we want to be participants in this journey for new development.
For a rising nation, technology leads the way. China's scientific achievements have shown the world that the Needham question is now history. Guided by the vision of Chinese modernization, China's innovation-driven journey continues, propelling the nation toward the strategic goal of becoming a tech powerhouse by 2035.